Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Today we're talking about the placebo effect and how the placebo is a portal. Now, if you know anything about science and if you've studied a little bit of psychology, you understand that there's something called the placebo effect, usually connected to the idea of a sugar pill, right? So if you take just a random sugar pill without any actual medication, you will still get the benefits of what you believe that pill is doing to you, right? And this works with anything possibly, right? A lot of spiritual communities will use a lot of these different things, pendulums, crystals and all these types of things. These are more advanced permission slips, you can think of them as. There are placebos that allow you to step into the avatar or the archetype that you truly prefer. So that's the first idea that we have to understand when it comes down to placebo. Placebo is an inert action, substance, or ritual that has no pharmacological or mechanical effect, yet triggers real biological changes simply because the receiver believes that it will. So when we're talking about placebo, we're really talking about your power of belief, your threshold of believability, which is completely associated with how you manifest something. Because according to the Primal Sutra Nexus, a placebo is belief-induced biochemistry. Isn't that a great definition? Belief-induced biochemistry. It's the mind casting spells on the body through symbolism, through expectation, through context. So this is not fakeness. It's a raw divine hackery, right? Placebo isn't necessarily a lie. It's the code behind the lie that reprograms the whole fucking matrix. So if you think placebo just means not real, then that's just kind of a Western reductionist dogma. Still trying to explain the ocean with a teaspoon and a lab coat. They call it placebo like they're just confusing like dandruff with like magic dust. But truly, and I mean truly, I've observed this in my own life many, many, many times, that when I believe in something, when I believe in myself, there's actually this biochemical change that's taking place. So the placebo is the portal. So you think you're healing, but it's actually your thought became a frequency. And that frequency hits your bioelectric field. It tells your cells to stand the fuck up. And now your tissues are bathing in a new song of yes, this is possible. We don't heal because we try. We believe a new law overrides an old one. The charm, the ritual, the sigil, the oil, the sound bowl. So none of these things work because of what they are. They work because of what they activate within you. So the spell isn't the words, the internal command line that they're awakening. It's not that it's all in your head. It's that your head is wired to God. And your belief system is just an uploaded intelligence that you use for rewriting the source code. So placebo is mysticism with a bad PR agent. It's shamanism dressed in a lab coat trying to get tenure. Every time you believe in healing, you send a psychic decree into your bloodstream. It alters voltage, it reshapes your neural pathways, it whispers to your DNA and tells it we're not that version of you anymore. The real lie is thinking your belief is weak, that you cannot possibly impact or change this world, that real magic is about, levitating a rock off the ground or something like this. It's not in the mirror, it's not in my altar. But if you say the right spell, the right belief, and you let your biology bow down and kneel to that belief, you're gonna understand what kind of neurosorcery this actually is. Placebo is mind-spirit command over flesh. So that means expectations is spellcasting. What you believe activates neural circuitry, especially the prefrontal cortex. Of course, we shut that off when we're in the zone, when we're in the flow state. But there's a real altering of physiology, right? Dopamine, heart rate, immune functions, hormones. Placebo is you expect healing and the body heals. Nocebo is quite the opposite. you expect failure, or you expect pain, the body still creates it, right? The stress and the damage from that. So belief is knowledge plus intention. And it comes down to practicing what we call in Primal Sutra as internal alchemy. Okay? I'm not talking that dark magic alchemy stuff. I'm talking about knowing what something does changes its effect. Parkinson's patients given fake meds would still produce dopamine. This is what the studies are showing. If they believe they got real meds, the body still follows that decree. Expectations can even control hunger hormones, such as ghrelin, muscle stress, insulin release, pain relief, right? So I think of the prefrontal cortex as the high priest because it suppresses or activates ancient systems in your hypothalamus and brainstem. Like a ritual master, it directs energy to body functions based on context and story. So we're just talking about modulating the belief, right, through anything that we're doing in our lives. Just me wearing red, or let's say I'm using a red pill over a blue pill, okay? Shout out to the Matrix breakdown that I did recently, okay? Red color is going to increase energy just from its color. So even from a color association, we're getting a placebo effect. Injections, capsules, machines. You know, in hospitals, they have all sorts of things, right? I'm in a hospital right now. This is where I sit. This is my little chamber. You have all these contraptions, all these machines, all these different things, right? Now imagine you were like Dexter Boy Genius. Well, imagine I was Dexter Boy Genius, right? And this was my lab, right? And you saw this weird thing behind me and you didn't even know that that was an air conditioner. But you thought this was some new age device. Like if I had shown this video to you and you were in different contexts, you were in the medieval times, right? You'd be like, what the hell is that thing? Right? Why is air coming out of it? It would look like complete magic or sorcery or something weird or voodoo or something, invented. So the more ritualistic or invasive a procedure seems, the stronger there is a placebo power. This is why we have to protect our mental temple, because our negative beliefs are literally working as a nocebo effect, like a black magic, creating curses, hexes, and blockages in the pathway of our momentum, for expansiveness, for growth, for inspiration, for positive synchronicities to activate through a feeling of freedom and choice. So belief now becomes the initiate's blade, your prefrontal cortex summoning this neurochemical reality. So science will confirm the more elaborate that you make your belief, the more powerful shifts it will make to your biology. So you are the biological interface between faith and flesh. Voice, your ritual, your expectation, these are divine software updates to this human machine. So let the normies and NPCs of the world call it a placebo. You know what it really is. This is a priest or priestesshood of the nervous system. You are the biofield sorcerer, the pharmakeia breaker, the code writer of the soma, the subconscious. So welcome to the temple of expectational alchemy. My question to you is, are you ready to code your own miracles? Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang, 30th May, Miracle May. We got this, you got this, Upward Spiral. May the flow be with you. May we never be the same again. Osa, let's go.